So here we are in Hall 8, and I have the absolute pleasure of meeting Masha in all of her glory. Can you please introduce yourself, what you do, and how you do it these days, and we'll have a bit of a chat about Ambiente.
Absolutely. So, hi, I'm Masha, and I'm a fashion blogger from Germany, based in Berlin. And yeah, I'm blogging since 2010, I think, already. So, yeah, I'm doing it for such a long time, and I also have a podcast, but it's in German, so sorry for that. And yeah, of course, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want.
Well, in those 10 years, what are some of the major changes? I mean, obviously technology's changed, the way we connect with the devices around the world have changed. What's the first thing that jumps to your mind in the last 10 years? What was the biggest change?
So actually, I think, nobody thought Instagram and social media would get so huge. I mean, look what happened. Right now we are living in an era of like super Instagrammers, just like we lived 20 years ago in an era of supermodels. So that's what top influencers became, and they're influencing a whole generation. And honestly, I knew social media would be big, but never thought it would get that big.
Well, let's maybe go for a walk. We'll continue our chat because I think where we are, we're obviously at Ambiente. Ambiente is we'll walk around here and check out these lovely plants, by the way. It's incredible, isn't it? It's like a small mini jungle. It was very, very calm, actually. So you just suggested, I mean, the idea of influence, it's in the word, influencing people. And if I think about how is that influence being used, is in the sense of what are we influencing, who's watching, who's listening, and that's quite a powerful job or trick, or what do you call it? Quite a powerful. I'm not for words myself. It's a powerful tool. And responsibility. There's the right word. It's a powerful responsibility you have because you're affecting a lot of people. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. So let's start with this. Of course, influencers, they are responsible. They shouldn't forget about this responsibility. But at the same time, the good thing about social media is you decide. You decide who you want to follow. You decide who's your idol. It's absolutely your decision. No, I mean, it's not like in the magazines a few years before when they showed you a picture of, I don't know, in my generation it was Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and whoever, and they decided if this is my idol or not. Yeah. So today you decide. And at the same time, many people think influencers are such a bad role model. They only show fashion and beauty and not very deep things, no deep talk on Instagram whatsoever. But here, there are those kind of followers, there are those kinds of influencers, but people don't follow them. So
that's right.
It's so funny.
I think it's also the communities you want to associate with. I mean, I'm in a bit of a realm, obviously in the design world. I've got certain followers I communicate with quite a lot because it's a little community we've established. And within that community, if you say something, generally people who are listening to you or reading your posts, they want to hear what you have to say. And a dialogue begins. And that's, I think, the power of this. It's not just a one-way, as you said, the magazine is there saying something to me. It's a dialogue back and forth. And I think it's really powerful.
It became so democratic. And I think it's a good thing at the same time. But obviously, social media is a mirror of our society.
It's true.
And it's what people forget. It's your decision who you want to follow and who not.
Yep.
So, and also you can escape social media. You don't have to be on social media and later on be sad because you spend so much time on Instagram instead spending it with people. So nobody force us to do it.
That's true. It's a choice. I mean, and if I look at your world, let's say the fashion world, we're obviously the Ambiente 2019, and here's more about the decoration of your home. And I think it's similar to fashion because you put accents, you put things of meaning into your fashion, the belt you're wearing or the buttons you've chosen. Mm-hmm. It's all very intentional. I think the Ambiente is also a way of bringing your personality to life at your home as well, correct?
Absolutely, even more because interior is so much bigger than just fashion in this kind of sense.
Yep.
So I can decide today I want to wear a blazer and tomorrow I want to wear a dress. But when it comes to interior, you really have to focus on one specific thing. So you don't have 3 different kind of sofas in your home.
Well, some people do.
Some people do, but it doesn't make any sense, you know. So at least I have only one sofa, and usually you don't buy it like every season a new one. So it should be something. You should buy something that you really love. And for example, I live in my apartment for like 3 or 4 years now, and still there are so many furniture still need a place, or I know. Okay, I need something here, but I didn't find the right one. You know.
And so when you think of your
take time for your interior.
And when you think of your apartment, I mean, we look around here, we've got a couple of different examples of design and stuff. I mean, when you look at some of these things in these displays, do you feel, I'd like to have that in my home? Or what sort of styles do you have? If I ask you, what does your apartment look like? Is it more of a minimal, more of a fashion space? What's the aesthetic at home?
So my aesthetic is more like this.
What is this? Was like a Yamaha?
This is I think it's a Japanese brand.
Yep.
And what I like about Japanese brands is that they are very similar to Scandinavian brands. So I prefer the minimalistic style, and I really like to work with more basics maybe. So everything has its place, especially when you work in the fashion industry. Honestly, sometimes you have so much stuff. My closet is full with stuff, so at least at home I don't want to be surrounded by so many things.
Well, it's also a lifestyle. I mean, it's 2019. Everyone's on, and there's lots of things happening in our world. This gives us peace and quiet. Sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. But at the same time, renting an apartment becomes more expensive, and you have smaller spaces you live in.
Yep.
And so you should focus more on just some specific things, add maybe some highlights. And yeah, I think that's why there's this big minimalism trend. So you don't want to be, I don't know how you say it in English, but when it gets too much.
Yeah. Over-cluttered, there's things piling up in the...
You don't feel free anymore.
Well, let's talk about Marie Kondo. I mean, the Marie Kondo, the whole world's clearing out their sock drawers now, but it's because of the times, isn't it? And I think that might be a good closing statement. You've almost taken my last question away from me, which is fine. The idea of what would be some tips and thoughts from your perspective of your world that might interest the viewers out there?
So, yeah, take time. It's not necessary to buy every furniture, every piece in the first month. So just take your time, find a perfect piece. Sometimes the perfect piece finds you. No, really. For example, not so long ago, I was searching for the perfect secretary, and I searched for 2 years or something. And then, surprisingly, finally I found it. And 2 years I lived with knowing that I need this thing, but not finding the perfect one. And right now I couldn't be happier. And I think that's about this specific furniture thing. Yep. So I think that's what your personal space should be about. Not forcing it too much, but getting inspired, go to Pinterest, look what you really want, and don't buy too much. Maybe look for second-hand pieces. Especially here, we have so many beautiful design pieces, and the good thing is, they're classics. It's not like, next season I want something new, but invest in design pieces and just some specific pieces. And when they're too expensive, maybe you can find them, I don't know, somewhere secondhand.
Flea marketing.
Yeah.
Yep. I reckon that's a really, really good way of closing off the discussion to say it's about you, it's your choices, about finding things you feel passionate about. Again, talking about purchasing classic design stuff. It's from my heart. So I really appreciate your time and lovely to meet you. We're going to continue on, see what else we can find. We'll see you around. Thank you. So there we go. That was Masha. We'll close off and we'll see you. I'm not sure where we're off to next. It's almost 4 o'clock. Time for an espresso, I think. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.